Well, hey there and hello and welcome to the bathroom of the dollhouse for another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and you Stelfers for August 26th, the day of the supportive partner. And here we have us a visual representation of the day of the supportive partner. What is it? Oh, it's a tandem bicycle. That's right. Hey, it seems to explain itself. The supportive partner riding in the back, giving all that supportive power. That's right. Hey, maybe the reading will just break it down even further for us. Who's to say? Sometimes it does that. But in any event, is it August 26th and it's your birthday today? Well, if it is, I just want to extend you a heartfelt happy birthday. That's right. And if this video finds you long or perhaps shortly after your birthday already occurred, I hope you had a happy birthday. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All right. Hey, for everyone else joining us, I just want to say welcome and hope you enjoy yourself. But before we get started with the birthday reading proper, let's roll some dice. This is the DykASSt, a birthday cast, so we need to live up to the namesake, and it's also for synchronicity's sake. That's right. What did we roll us today? We got a 4 and a 6 for a 10. Almost. Oh, there's a 6 in there. How about that? You 26. There's a day. Not quite a 2 and a 6, but hey, here nor there. Synchronicity is not about the numbers that you want. It's about the numbers that you need to be on the lookout for when you go out into the world and let the universe speak to you. Let it show you some signs. You're just being open to the universe, lining things up for you. And when you see these numbers, or the numbers you roll yourself, you go after them, you chase them down. And then you'll start to see other things start opening up for you. Maybe you miss one, but hey, you just got to sit back in your ways, relax, let the universe line something else up for you, because it typically puts you right back on the path you need to be on. Might be a number on somebody's football jersey. Just follow them for a few minutes or whatever, however minutes the dice say when you roll your own, if you take your own, or until you see another sign. In any event, it's just a means for you to see that the universe is behind you. So that's right, a 4 and a 6 for a 10. All right, hey, let's dive in with the birthday reading proper. Your month is August, your day the 26th, your sign is 2 to 4 degrees Virgo of the Virgo I period. That's right, and your quality and element is mutable earth. August 26th, the day of the supportive partner. Those born on August 26 rarely assume the most conspicuous position in a business, family, or social function, generally preferring to work along with others toward a common goal. More specifically, many August 26 people are bound emotionally to a more powerful or outgoing individual, perhaps a sibling, mate, or friend who garners attention. For this reason, some August 26 people have to struggle for recognition. Inside, they know their own worth, but the world is not always quick to recognize it. And if those born on this day remain content with a supportive role or are patient enough to wait for their time to lead, they will be happy and industrious. If not, well, they may become frustrated and unproductive. And those born on this day who work alone may appear to others as lonely and isolated. It is true that some August 26 people are possessed by feelings of self-pity and become ultra-sensitive to all forms of negativity and rejection. If, however, these loners have a strong will, they will hang in there for years, and whether they receive any great reward or not, will toil on in a steady, uncomplaining fashion. August 26 people generally make excellent partners as they understand the importance of structure and organization in the lives of children. Those with little ambition are usually pretty relaxed in the demands they make of their offspring. If, however, they are frustrated due to a lack of talent or recognition in their own career, they must beware of placing the burden of their dreams on their more gifted children and pushing them too hard. Many August 26 people enjoy working behind the scenes and in exceptional cases can be the moving force behind a well-known individual or a group. Not only team players, they actually take satisfaction in remaining unseen and anonymous. Rather than fretting for lack of attention, well, they may actually luxuriate in the freedom as they see it, of doing their work without much ego interference. And such dedicated individuals are usually worth their weight in gold to a family or a business. Sooner or later, however, August 26 people may stop, often in their 50s and 60s, it says in parentheticals, and ask, hey, what's in it for me? Or, my God, what's happened in my life? At that time, they are quite capable of giving up selfless activities and striking out on a whole new path. And although this can come as a shock to those who have depended on them or perhaps taken them for granted, such August 26 people will probably feel that they deserve their newfound freedom, suffering little or no guilt when making the change. Well, all right. How about that for a dynamic birthday read? I'd say. What I have to say in the notes. I wrote some notes down to put my own comments on the breakdown. Someone who generally prefers to work with others in it toward a common goal. All right. Hey, you're a rarity indeed. Most folks, they want to do it all themselves or have other people supporting them, right? Being the head of the pack, but you are one of those folks who get behind other folks and help them see the glory, right? And that's admirable. But often attached to an individual who attract the interest of others and struggling for recognition the world won't often recognize. Well, and how is what I have to say here. And way I figure it, somehow, some way, some folks are just able to walk through life with things either have just popping up for them, or they're chancing themselves right into things that are just beneficial to them, while sometimes many other of us with equal skill and talent, we just have to struggle, chomp at the bit, when those other folks, they seem to just walk into things and they just have them fall in their lap. You know, it kind of seems unfair, but it just seems fated sometimes that those other folks get a little bit more of an easier chance at it. I don't know how written in the stars it is, but somehow it's a real phenomenon, at least as I've observed it. But keep pressing on regardless, okay? That's what I say. Even when it's hard, you don't want to, and the chips are down, you just got to keep pressing on. And why? Well, even if no one else is aware, okay? That's why you keep pressing on. You are. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're going to sleep better if you know you left it all out on the field, as the saying goes, especially when the chips were down, okay? Because then when they're down again, you know you can rise to it and overcome, okay? And I have a lot of shared experience with what was shared here. Now, whether it applies to you or not, who's to say? But I know exactly what they're talking about. So I'm here to tell you, keep pushing, all right? You aren't alone either, all right? You aren't alone. Other people go through it too. And if what's been outlined here applies anyhow, all right? It does have does say they have a strong will to press on, and there will probably be more seeming bad days than good. But I like that they mention not to place the burden of your failures or what you want out of life on your children, especially if they're more talented. That's interesting that they bring that up. It's probably pretty easy to lay frustration, but just for about anyone willing to listen. You don't want that crystallizing in on kids with impressionable minds, though, right? Other people, they've grown up, and they can tend to just empathize or sympathize with you instead of taking it on for you. So yeah, it's good that they mention that, I think. And it's probably gonna save money on therapy in the future if that's the case. So yeah, something to just be mindful of, whether you got kids or not. Let's see, but yeah, supporting others is great. Just assess whether you might not want something more. Even if you get fulfillment out of supporting other people, there may come a time when you decide that's not the case. But hey, your life seems like it's already passed you by. So here's what I have to say. Maybe work on things for yourself in the background, kind of in your off time, so that when and if you do decide I want something more, you haven't had those idle hands where you weren't doing anything, right? That's right. Set yourself up for future success that doesn't necessarily depend on other people. That's what I have to say in the event. I feel like I started too late, even though, boy, I started pretty early, if you ask me. But in any event, hey, that's what I had to say about your birthday breakdown there, August 26 people. I empathize, I identify with what they had to write quite a bit. So let's dive in further with your numbers and your planets and see what else they had to say here. Those born on the 26th of the month are ruled by the number 8, as 2 plus 6 equals 8, and by the planet Saturn, all right? And since Saturn carries strong feelings of responsibility and an accompanying inclination toward caution, limitation, and fatalism, the tendency for August 26 people to remain in a supportive role is enhanced. And those ruled by the number 8 generally build their lives slowly and carefully, true in both career and finance for August 26 people. Although those born on this day may be warm-hearted, Saturnian and Mercurial influences, as Mercury rules Virgo, may make for a cold or detached exterior. Very interesting. All right, what I'd say about your numbers and your planets here. The number 8 and the planet Saturn, all right? Wicked Saturn in this case, I would say. It's enhancing your place in a supportive role. It would seem anyhow, but which I'd argue is important to accept life's hurdles before we can begin to surmount them, right? And it's the experience of that that I guess it builds more character, right? Experiencing those hurdles. So, but all that being considered, at least we know who's to blame, right? Wicked Saturn's to blame for that cold exterior too, apparently. Oh, at least when it's coupled with Mercury, the speedy planet Mercury. All right, so maybe it's the perception that you're standoffish that's causing you some issues where people aren't really recognizing you. You know, I got told by a few people I was standoffish, and I just didn't really get it. But you know, sometimes they says, I know you, and I know you're not, but I can see how you come off that way. And I needed to be told that in order to kind of realize it was probably true. And it made more sense about as much why people didn't really gravitate towards me. Not that I'm ruled by Saturn, but yeah, Uranus over here, explosive and erratic, but maybe something to consider if that seems to apply to you. People aren't gravitating towards you. Maybe it's just something you're not picking up on. Who's to say? Any event, what else do I have to say here? Perceptive stat causing you some issues too. I would know, as it holds me back also. And first impressions, right? You can't get them back. So if you seem standoffish to folks that you may need in the future, ooh, it's going to take, 8 positives for every negative or something like that? Who's to say? But in any event, hey, let's move on to your tarot. Yeah, the more eclectic of the metaphysical practices, as far as I consider it. But it's fun. It's here in the book, so let's see what it has to say. Maybe there's additional insight. All right, the 8th card of the major arcana is Strength or Courage, all right, which depicts a graceful queen taming a furious lion. And the queen symbolizes the female magician who can master rebellious energies and stands for moral as well as physical strength. And the card's positive attributes include charisma and a determination to succeed. And the negative qualities include complacency and the misuse of power. All right, hey, what I have to say about your tarot? They did kind of a copy-paste job here, though they did seem to personalize the numbers and planets. It seems to be a trade-off sometimes, but hey, what do they have to say about your tarot here? The female magician who controls rebellious energy and turns it into a standing as a strong moral example. Perhaps why you're so relied upon for others to find their own success, perhaps, right? You're the secret ingredient that's all too important, but when the food, I guess you'd say, is taken as a whole, well, you're the unseen oak in a forest of red trees. That's right. To mix metaphors there. So just stay on the path with that determination, all right? Because forests get logged out all the time, don't they? So, to stay within the latter part of the mixed metaphor. And someday you're going to make a great dinner table. That's right. That strong, sturdy oak. Determined, right? You don't need no cars driving through you like the redwood. That's right. Everybody goes to see the redwoods and drive their car through. But they only go to one wood for their furniture. That's right. The strong and steady oak. Okay, let's dive in with your health. Okay. Those born on August 26th must beware of ignoring physical symptoms of disease. All right, although they may be thoughtful people who generally take the time to make intelligent choices, fears of health problems or doctors may keep them from seeking a physician or a therapist. Also, while greatly attentive to the health of their family and friends, they are quite capable of ignoring their own. An observant and helpful family member or colleague can be invaluable to August 26 people in alerting them to symptoms. And the natural orderly tendencies of those born on this day make them likely to have healthy and regular sleep patterns, eating habits, and exercise routines. Both as cooks and eaters, they should make an effort to expand their culinary horizons, experimenting with new and exciting foods, rather than settling for bland and unimaginative fare. Oh, all right. Hey, they drilled down on your diet there, didn't they? What do I have to say about your health? Don't ignore the potential health problems, all right? So take a little hypochondria from your August 24th compatriots there. Your other Leo, what do we have? No, you're a Virgo. What was August 24th? I think it was a Leo-Virgo cusp there. Oh, Virgo too, but they had the hypochondria. So maybe you can just take a little bit of that. Concern yourself with your health. So what else I have to say? They won't miss it. They won't miss that little bit of hypochondria. So you need to take care of yourself, right? Right. Okay. So form you a little routine. Yeah, I know. Lame, right? As for bland food, well, I'm here to say don't be afraid of a little bit of salt, all right? Provided it isn't against the orders of the doctor you don't see. That's right. Okay. So much for your health. That's what I had to say. So let's dive in with some advice. All right, let's get to your advice here. Sometimes being too accepting is not good. Learn to stand up for yourself, all right? And be more forceful in demanding rights in return for the work that you do. And don't live through others. Take the lead yourself sometimes. Oh, all right. That's some pretty good advice, I would say. What I have to say about your advice. Stand up for yourself. That's right. Stand up for yourself. And then I wrote, that's right. Okay. They write and mention this often, matter of fact. It's something you see pretty commonly as the advice is concerned. But it's true. That's probably why they write it as much. But the living through others part, that isn't very common. And I would say it's pretty specific to what they've outlined here in the breakdown for you. And it's hard sometimes when you're in such that supportive role. You get to see the other people with their success, and since everybody else kind of looks over you, well, I guess we got to live through them. And but yeah, don't fall into that rut. Okay. That being said, just be mindful of it. Take note. Maybe you didn't notice as much, and sometimes when it's pointed out to you, as I said before, that's when we see it, and that's when we can take action. And so. Provided that's something we want. Okay. All right, let's move on to your meditation. That's right. Two shapes in a painting happening in the same place create a time between them, a kind of rhythmical occurrence. All right, one more time. Two shapes in a painting happening in the same place create a time between them, a kind of rhythmical occurrence. All right, there's your meditation. I'm not going to break it down for you. That's for you to meditate on. It's your birthday. That's right. Okay, hey, let's go dive in with your strengths and your weaknesses. Let's see. I think we already know, though, don't we? Your strengths, you're self-contained, you're accepting, and you're cooperative. And your weaknesses. Are you ready? All right, let's see what we got. Passive, repressed, self-sacrificing. Ooh, that passive planet Saturn, maybe. Oh, repressed. I don't know. Who's to say? Everybody's got some weaknesses, right? But everybody's got some strengths. So once again, it's just good to take note and be mindful. Hey, does that concern me? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. You know, when I did my birthday reading, I didn't think it was at all me. But then everybody was talking. They go, "Oh, it's you quite a bit." And then after some reflection, I was, putting the ego aside a little bit. Oh, you know what? That's true. And it's kind of like I give this example once in a while. the Mrs. or no, not Mississippi, Missouri, the Show Me State. I asked the guy from Missouri, what's the deal with the Show Me State? And I looked into it, and this isn't actually the reason, but maybe kind of. He goes, you know what? I don't really know, but it wasn't until I got into the Marine Corps that I noticed that I didn't believe anybody. I had to be shown. And he says, people from Missouri are that way. They don't take things just on word alone. They need to be shown. So maybe that's part of it. You need to be shown or told by other people. All right, I've drilled down on it enough. So let's dive in with those born on this day. A lot of times I meet folks, ask them what they do, and more importantly, if they like it. And a lot of times they don't. And why is that? Well, they just never had time to put in the work to figure out their passion. Or what just drives them. Too often they got out of college or they jumped right into a career so they could support their family or get some kind of security in their lives. And that's great. That's all good and well and necessary. But we want to be happy with what we do, right? And so I figure this is the perfect opportunity to see how people who share your company, what they did with their lives, what put them on the map, if you like. And if you find yourself in a place where, I don't know, you don't really enjoy what you're doing, maybe you can derive some kind of inspiration from someone who shares your birthday. It's also fun to see what lottery we drew, all the people to share that day. So let's dive in. With those born on this day, we have Guillaume Apollinaire. I'm not sure about that one. I might have butchered the heck out of that name. Let's just do that right quick. Who was a French writer, poet, and an artist. We have Antoine Lavoisier, the French names behind. All right, he was a French chemist and isolated oxygen. It's interesting. Lee DeForest, the father of radio, a radio and television pioneer, inventor of the radio tube triode and the oscillator. We also have Albert B. Sabin, who was a virologist, live polio vaccine developer. Sounds like scientist is in your future here, if you're interested in that kind of thing. We have Geraldine Fierro, was a Queens congressman and vice presidential candidate. We also have Joseph Montgolfier, French inventor, hot air balloon co-pioneer, and brother of Etienne. Oh, the French names are getting us today. We also have Bradford Marsal, jazz saxophonist, and the Tonight Show band leader and brother of Wynton. We also have Peggy Guggenheim, the heiress and art collector, Prince Albert, the German prince of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, and Queen Victoria's consort. We also have Christopher Isherwood, who was a British-American writer of Down There on a Visit. We have Jimmy Rushing, a jazz singer, and Mr. 5x5, apparently. That's quite the nickname. Otto Binder was a science fiction writer. We have William French Smith, an attorney general. Ben Bradley, Washington Post editor. Earl Long, Louisiana governor, and Huey Long's brother. Tom Henson, basketball forward of the Boston Celtics coach, and also a TV sports commentator. We have Valerie Simpson, singer of Ashford and Simpson. We also have Merlin Tuttle, mammologist and bat authority and conservationist rather. The Bat Authority. All right, we also have Joe Henry Engel, was a U.S. astronaut and a NASA colonel. We also have, to take us out, Rufino Tamiya, a Mexican muralist and an artist. So we had the whole gamut today. Scientists, writers, performers, a lot of French folks, to my chagrin. But there weren't any Russians. That one gets me too. Or Greeks. I can't say those names either. Any event, that has been those born on this day. Your season is summer. Your sign, once again, is Virgo of the Virgo I period specifically. And your quality and elements is mutable earth. And this has been August 26th, the day of the supportive partner. From The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and you Stelvers. Give these guys some support. I got an affiliate link down in the description for this book. Makes a great addition to your coffee table if you want to dive in further with things, or if you have company over. It's going to get the conversation started if you need an icebreaker. Sometimes for better or for worse, but the conversation's going to flow. But most importantly here, we draw to an end. I just want to once again say happy birthday. All right? And if this finds you late, as I said at the top, hope you had a happy birthday. But for everyone else who joined us, I hope you enjoyed yourself and you join us for your birthday. And once again, 6 of the 4, 4 of 10. Get out there, find you your universal synchronicity numbers, and see the universe working for you. All right, take care of yourselves.